call this August meeting of the Board of Trustees of Riverside Township to order. Please rise, and Trustee Clark, would you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. If you have not signed have you signed in? Okay, very good. That will help us for our minutes. And the roll call, please, Clerk Reyes.
Trustee Clark.
Present.
Trustee Heilenbach. Trustee Carroll.
Present.
Trustee DeCosta.
Present.
Supervisor Wilt.
Here?
Oh, Clerk J. Reyes here.
Okay. We have a quorum, so we will begin this meeting. First on the agenda here is the approval of the minutes of the July 11th board meeting. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 11th board meeting.
I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Clark, second by Trustee DeCosta to approve the minutes of July 11th of the Riverside Township Board of Trustees. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Okay. We also have the minutes of the August 1st Committee of the Whole, which was the agenda focused on the decennial committee as required by the state. What is your pleasure on these minutes?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of the August 1st Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Carroll, seconded by Trustee DeCosta, to approve the minutes of the Committee of the Whole of Riverside Township Board of Trustees on August 1st. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. Okay, under new business, we have grants. I got a call just as we were closing the office today from the fire chief in Brookfield, apologizing profusely, but he had a family emergency and was not going to be able to be here this evening. Do you want to go forward with this, or do you want to wait until he's available?
I would say wait till he's available.
I think
Okay.
that's appropriate.
He said he completely understood. He had a family matter and he had to drive down to Bloomington. So I assured him that we would put him on next month's agenda if that's all right with everybody.
Absolutely.
Okay, then we will defer the Brookfield Fire Department's request until our next meeting. And our next grant request is from the Little Food Pantry at Riverside Presbyterian Church. And we have a guest here. If you would please step to the podium, not to be too intimidating, but for the television, if you would please give us your name, your position, and we can go from there.
Yes, I'm Douglas Asbury. I am the director of the Little Food Pantry at Riverside Presbyterian Church, and I was just appointed that last week. So although I've been working with the food pantry for a couple of years now, the position is new to me.
So you've been thrown to the wolves, in other words. Very well. Would you just tell us briefly what it is that you're requesting?
We are grateful that the Township Board granted us $5,000 earlier this year, and we're asking for another $5,000 for the remainder of the year. We supply the food pantry with grants such as yours, also with donations which come from a lot of people, not only members of the church, but also members of the community. We also get in-kind donations of canned goods, breads, I go to Jimmy John's every night and get any bread they're going to throw away, and I package it up and put it in our food pantry. We have a group of people that go to Aldi's on Mondays and Fridays and take any produce that they're going to get rid of that they think might be beneficial to people. They can't sell it because it looks bad, and so they give it to us, and often it's a lot of produce that's still quite edible and usable. We also go to Riverside Foods on Tuesdays and Thursdays and do the same thing, and they give us a lot of produce there. And we've got 2 little refrigerators outside of the office doors that people can come to 24/7, get anything that's in those. We've got a cabinet for the dry goods, and we find that we have to restock both the refrigerators and the cabinet a couple of times or 3 times a day.
Wow.
3 times a day?
Yeah, yeah. We have somebody who's going to do it first thing in the morning, and then usually about mid-afternoon, both of them are emptied, and so we have somebody else to fill then, and then sometimes even after dinner, we'll have somebody to fill both.
Okay. For the information of the board, to clarify, yes, there was an award earlier this year, but it was in the last fiscal year. It was at our February meeting that we made that contribution. So within this fiscal year, this is the first request.
What was the meeting again? I'm sorry.
It was the February meeting when we
February meeting.
approved it. So, yes, it was in this calendar year, and we did give 5,000 approved then. Also, for those who aren't familiar with how we do this, because of the separation of church and state, what we do is we buy gift cards to the stores that have been mentioned that they use. So last time, I bought cards from Aldi, from Menards, from Target, and for Costco.
And they were 25? Is that right?
It varied.
Very.
Costco will allow me to do a big number. Aldi won't go more than 100 per card. So, I mean, I kind of divided it up and tried to do roughly, I think it was 2,000 from Aldi, and the other stores were $1,000 each, but in various denominations.
And then they would purchase the food.
They purchased the food
For
with those
their
cards.
pantry.
Right. Actually, no, I think it was the Dollar Tree was another place, surprisingly, that they also requested. And they were very difficult to get gift cards from. They didn't want to go more than $50, I think, because of the nature of the store. So that was a lot of them. But this is how we've done it. Are there any questions for
I have
Mr.
2 questions.
Hasbro?
What do you get at Menards?
Menards has a small grocery section, and we get canned spaghetti sauce that's only $1.19 a can there for 24 ounces, and you can't get it anywhere near that anywhere else. We also get, today I got some canned pineapple bits that were $1.25 for about a 16-ounce can, I believe it was. So sometimes they have sales on things that are, just what we need, and other times I just get the spaghetti sauce because we go through the spaghetti sauce. Target has the best price on spaghetti because a pound of spaghetti there is 99 cents a pound. So we stock up at Target on spaghetti, at Menards on spaghetti sauce. At Costco, they have the best price on canned chicken breast. Sometimes they lower the price on the instant oatmeal to where it's almost like Aldi's, but not quite. Aldi's, I've got a whole list of things we get from Aldi's, so they're the primary provider.
So to be clear, the cards are redeemed by the pantry.
Correct.
And not like we would do for at Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Right,
Okay.
correct. Yeah, no, they don't give out the cards. We give them substantial cards with which they shop for the pantry.
So you communicate with the church to see what they need. Okay. My other question, Doug, is on this. I don't know if you wrote up this little thing because you're new.
I think that was Linda and Ed Carney.
Okay, and it says you predict over 8,000 will be needed, and it says on here 2022, should that be 2023?
Yes, that was
Okay.
probably. Yeah, in fact, I developed a spreadsheet, which we didn't have before that, and was trying to get all of the receipts. And I found that between January 1st this year and the end of June, we had spent $7,400. And just in the month of July and up to now in August, we've spent another $1,700 or $1,900 to stock the food pantry with the food.
So what is your prediction on how much it's gonna cost for 2023? You know?
Linda indicated that from last year to this year, we doubled the amount we were spending on the food pantry.
Part of that is the price of food, too.
Right, yes. I'm guessing that by the end of the year, we will have spent at least $12,000, if not as much as $14,000 on the little food pantry. And that's in addition to all of the in-kind stuff that we get for free, you know, from the various places. So it's really a much-needed project for the township and for the church.
And I just want to comment that I live down the street and across the street from the church, so I drive by, 4 or 5 times a day, early in the morning, and then I'm coming home from an event, and there are always people there,
Yes.
getting food, and then if it's empty, looking very disappointed, coming back. So I make the motion that we grant
Could
the little
I have
food pantry.
I do have a question.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. What is your vetting process?
They
The
do.
vetting process
have a-
for people that take the food,
You don't?
we have none. Whoever whoever believes they need the food for free comes and takes it.
Yeah, it's an open pantry, so it's
Yeah, yeah.
outside the locked building or,
Yeah.
so.
We're pretty sure there are people who really don't need it, that are just taking advantage of it, but we're believing that the vast majority of the people that use it really need it.
Okay. Any other questions? And I have a motion to approve this grant. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a motion by trustee Clark, second by trustee Carroll, to approve the request for a $5,000 grant from the Little Food Pantry at Riverside Presbyterian Church. Are there any more questions? Any more discussion? Hearing none, then Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta,
Yes.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very
Congratulations, and I'll
much.
be in touch with getting you those cards.
Thank you.
You may at some point have to have to crack down a little bit and watch it a little bit. Do
Yeah.
you have any cameras or anything so that you can see that
We're
people
beginning to
aren't?
install some cameras.
Okay.
Part of the problem we've found is that someone or someones take the food and eat some of it right there, but then they throw the rest in the yard, and some of the dogs that are walk by go after the food. That it really disturbs their owners. So we're trying to put cameras around to
Right.
identify who the miscreants are and to
Right.
ask them to please stop doing that.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Asbury, if you haven't done so, can I get you to sign the?
He did,
sign in?
he did.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening. All right. Item B is a special event request. And that is for, let's see, a baby shower. They question whether they qualify because they just moved to North Riverside, but they are a resident of North Riverside and within the township. They are requesting the auditorium, and they will have alcohol served. And this is for Sunday, October 22nd. And they are aware that this requires this board's approval and that they must provide insurance coverage. So if this is approved,
What
then
is it?
we'll go to
Do
the
we
next
know?
step. Pardon?
What is it for?
It's a baby shower.
Baby shower?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Am I blind?
It's near the
Oh,
bottom of the
okay,
front page, yes.
Yes, I am.
I know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Why does she put, my mail always just says Riverside?
Well, because that's
Is
a
that the
common
town?
thing for us in North Riverside, even though, yeah, I mean, it's the same post office and the same zip code. So the
okay.
automatic, the autofill, anybody who's sending you anything, it'll autofill. Some services allow you to change it to North Riverside. Some will insist, no, you're in Riverside. But you can tell by the address on Third Avenue that this is within the township. It's just a frustrating thing for us in North Riverside. All right, any other questions? This would be a daytime event, so.
Oh, 11 to 3. I make a motion, we approve this request as long as she has all her insurance coverage.
Okay. I have a motion by trustee Clark. Do I hear a second?
Second. I'm sorry.
I have a second by trustee DeCassola. So the motion is that we approve the request for use of the building on October 22nd for a baby shower, and this is subject to the rules, including providing adequate coverage for the service of alcohol. Any more discussion? Hearing none, then we usually do this by roll call. If you would please call the roll.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee DeCassola,
Yes.
supervisor Wilt.
Yes. Motion is carried. All right. Next on the agenda, are there any communications?
There are no communications today.
Okay. And we'll go to the reports. I'll just update you that the farmer's market activity has kind of been slow so far, probably mostly due to weather conditions. One date was actually canceled due to weather, and another date had a big downpour just before they opened, so a couple of the vendors didn't open that day. So it's been a little slow usage. 21 out of the 49 people who up until last week had received vouchers had used at least some of them, and 91 vouchers have been redeemed so far from the 8 markets that were held. General assistance news is that some of our clients are starting to find employment, so they are approaching the end of their assistance, or they've already been terminated. One came off this month, and 2 more will probably be coming off next month if those jobs work out. I've also been working a lot with the CRC because many of the GA clients still need other support in other ways. The Nurses Closet has had a lot of recent donations, so it's going to be time to purge some of the more worn-out items because there are certain items that we could have a garage sale, for example, of commodes. We have many. We could probably seat everybody in here, replace these chairs with commodes. So anyway, that's a project we have to work on. Rentals are pretty steady now within the building, but the rest of this month is free. So we're hoping to get some great carpet wear areas cleaned before we start renting out again in the fall, because there's some spots that just don't want to come out for our handhelds. The building use does require more cleaning, and so we are down to 1 full-time custodian right now. Our part-time custodian was limited in his hours as he was a retiree from another IMRF job. So he could only work under 600 hours, and he needed more hours, more income, so he took a different job. I participated in the quarterly meeting of the Cook County Township Supervisors. Our guest speaker was Illinois State Senate Minority Leader John Curran, and we shared some concerns among each other about recent FOIA requests as came up in our meeting last week, and also we discussed some new and existing technology and the best use. We also discussed how the efficiency committees are coming along, and some recent legislation which has amended general assistance to go by rules that are more similar to other assistance programs. For example, we had a very archaic rule that if anybody had had a marijuana conviction, that they were just, that was an automatic no, even if, and it was anytime after 96, so it could have been in the last century, and we still couldn't, but even though public aid and everything else didn't look at that. So some adjustments there and how we're allowed to use the money. It doesn't really affect us too much, but, you know, that's been one change in the law. Let's see, you will have in your financial reports, you will note that there's one extra page. It is the first page of the June report. The accountant contacted me last week when they were doing the new report and realized that there was one line with one number that was wrong, and it was a matter of how the system calculated things when they moved it from, because some things are done in QuickBooks and then there's an accounting system that they use, and it was just an error. So everything else in the report, all the calculations, everything was the same. I've just replaced that one page. And other than that, I'd be glad to answer any questions about anything else that's going on, but it's been kind of a busy but not unusual month. Okay. The assessor wasn't sure that she'd be able to make it today, so we'll move on to trustees' reports. Trustee DeCassola, do you have anything?
No report, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Carroll?
Nothing today, Supervisor.
Okay. Trustee Clark?
Just that the exercise classes is going well, and we'll probably start up maybe quarterly programs and quarterly lunch in September.
Oh, okay. Very good. Just coordinate with Andrew for the best days and so forth, so. But by September, we don't have the campers or anything, so we should be good. And there are no mental health meetings in the summer, so there is no report on that. So we're on to old business, and just checking if there's any report from our attorney regarding the archiving of social media records.
Thank you, Supervisor Wilt. I did check around with my colleagues. I think this came up at the last month's meeting, correct? This
Yes.
Township, just for the quick background and reminder, received an offer for services for archiving social media records. I think it was geared mostly at like Facebook comments, right? That someone might make a comment.
Right.
They might then erase later on, and would the township be accused of not holding on to that record for FOIA purposes or archiving purposes and so forth? So the other issue that came up was, even if that were a good idea, the offer that seemed a little costly.
Right.
So I checked around with colleagues. This doesn't seem to be something that comes up very often with other local governments.
Okay.
Based on the mostly lack of response I received to a couple inquiries. A couple townships have received some type of similar, I don't know if it's the same company or not, same type of offer. I'm not aware of anyone that's taken them up or retained such services, usually because I think like the township here, it's a relatively small social media kind of footprint, and and the cost.
Right.
No one seems to think that it's justified. The comments on Facebook, for example, does that even fall under FOIA if someone were to erase it? It seems to me there's some opinion, at least around our office, that maybe that doesn't fall under FOIA.
If you don't have control over it.
Someone else has complete control over it, it was their message, it's meant to be somewhat transitory or temporary and in and of itself. So that's basically brings you up to speed on what I found out,
Okay.
and based on that, I guess it would be my recommendation that
Would pass for now.
they pass for now. You can always reconsider it, and I think someone mentioned the Secretary of State might have some recommendations of how to kind of
Self-regulate.
police or regulate, social media posts, and we can look into some things like that.
And we did have a little bit of a discussion about that with the other supervisors from the Cook County at the meeting, and some of them said, some of them have larger staffs, and they said, well, they just do screenshots kind of to, if there's any commentary, so that they can record that. But, you know, that means somebody's watching it a couple times a day at least, I suppose. But, yeah, we also, most of us didn't feel like that was a huge issue. I think somebody's selling a product that doesn't really have a need.
I'm not aware of anyone that's jumped at the opportunity to hire,
Right.
you know, company for similar services. They seem to have all passed and reached the same conclusion. Someone else did recommend, before I forget this, that I guess you can turn comments off, right? If you really
True.
wanted to be uber cautious about not having something on there that you know, might get pulled off and you
Yeah,
didn't
it's
have a
one way
record of
only.
it.
It just
You know, yeah, I don't, maybe that's not the right idea. You'd prefer to have some kind of back and forth, maybe on certain issues or certain posts, but
That's what email's for.
but that was another option, so you don't want to eliminate the issue,
Yeah.
then.
Well, and that could be, I
disengage
suppose
comments or
that's,
whatever
I
the term
suppose
is.
that's something that we could even put on
Yeah.
our Facebook page that would say, comments are welcome at.
Here's our email.
At the email address,
Yeah.
you know, that would be, so we're not blocking them, we just control the flow.
Yeah, that was just another, you know, concept that was thrown out.
Okay.
Some of the, little bit of back and forth I had with a few colleagues, but most people I haven't experienced this as of yet, or it's, you know, it's not a common thing, for sure.
All right, very good, thank you. Any other questions?
Good with that, thank you.
All right, then we can move on. The next item of business is the approval of warrants. You have them in your packets.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Yeah, I know, it's so soon.
I move that this board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified on the general warrant dated August of 2023 in the amount of $14,926.57 as presented to this board today, the 8th of August, 2023.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Carroll, seconded by trustee Clark, to approve the general warrants for August 2023 in the total amount of $14,926.57. Any discussion, any questions? If not, then Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes,
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes. Motion is carried.
I have one further complicated motion. It will come in 8 parts. I make a motion that the board ratify and authorize payment of the amounts indicated on the warrants in your book. The utility warrant dated August 2023 in the amount of $1,013.74. The payroll warrant dated August 2023 in the amount of $17,889.04. The health warrant dated August 2023 in the amount of $3,049.42. The grants warrant dated August of 2023 in the amount of $10,000.
No, it shouldn't be the grants, it should be the general assistance.
General assistance, I
Is it on the-
withdraw the amount for
Is that,
grants.
is that on the wrong line? Sorry.
No, no, it's clear there that I am
Okay.
just testing everybody.
All right.
I will withdraw that grant portion and add the general assistance warrant dated August 2023 in the amount of $10,853.32. The Township radio players warrant dated August 2023 in the amount of $749.23. And the food pantry warrant dated August of 2023 in the amount of $1,256.26, all of which is presented to you today, the 8th day of August of 2023.
Thank you. I have that motion by trustee Carroll. Do I hear a second?
second.
I have a motion by trustee Carroll, seconded by trustee DeCassola, to approve the following warrants, all dated for August 2023. And they are as follows: the utility warrant in the amount of $1,013.74, payroll warrant in the amount of $17,889.04, the health warrant in the amount of $3,049.42, the general assistance warrant in the amount of $10,853.32, the township radio players warrant in the amount of $749.23, and the food pantry warrant in the amount of $1,256.26. Are there any questions, comments? If not, then Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes. That carries. And as I said, you have the financials, and that one page replaces the first page of your June revenues and expenditures cash flow list. That being said,
That first page?
that one page, it should have been tucked away into your book. Did anybody
was
get
it?
that?
Yeah, right before the stapled section.
Yeah, just before the stapled one, it should be in that section. If not, you can add this one. I have it elsewhere. It was just the,
Oh, okay.
it was just the closing balance that was different. It,
Okay.
it did not calculate the way it was supposed to, and they didn't catch that, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if there's nothing else, I don't see any public for public comments. Is that, anybody's in here, or did
Oh,
Mr.
Mr.
Asbury
might have left it.
forget his bag? There's a bag on the
I
floor
believe he
there,
left
so-
it.
Okay,
You know what, I can drop it off.
okay. Very good. Then if there's nothing further, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So motioned. I will motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
A motion by trustee Carroll, seconded by trustee Clark, to adjourn this meeting. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you.